Hey Eric, welcome back. Thanks for being here again. Alright, I got a little late start on lunch today, so been busy, just about finished with all the editing, so wanted to get the Bard livestream we just did all edited and up, or the preliminary editing done and up, so I'm getting everybody kind of a better quality of video, so I wanted to spend some time in between streams doing that and just getting my lunch ready here, so. Well, that's good to see that you've got 2 new first-time tabletop players. That's awesome to see. Hey, Lord Henry, welcome back. Appreciate you guys spending all the time with me today. It's really overwhelming to see you guys sticking around so much. I appreciate it. You know, I got to realizing last stream that I'm going to be it's a little hard to remember back. I've been playing my personal life, or my personal playthrough a lot. And it's been a while since I've done all of this, so I may actually have to go back, you know, during the week and reload some old saves on my personal life through just to kind of remember how a bunch of these things went. I realized in the past couple of live streams here, last weekend and this weekend, that I'm a little rusty on the way I did things and things to make sure I don't miss. So we're gonna have to get caught up a little bit. Yeah, my guess, Eric, is that they're just, I mean, level 5 is obviously a big jump for all of your martial characters, but level 5 and 6 in general, I mean, you know, it's big jumps for every class. So they may not obviously be as familiar in how to take advantage of their action economy as much as, you know, if they had started out from level 1 and been able to gradually add those things on as they go. But, you know, I'm sure, you know, a little shepherding along. And a little help from the rest of the party. You know, experienced players who have played those classes before. I'm sure they'll get the hang of it after a while. Yeah, I know, Eric. That's where I'm at. My personal playthrough's a little bit different as well, in that I record every second of it, and I go back and play encounters in different ways with different options using the same save file. And so it takes me a lot longer to go through than it would normally, because I'm recording it for everything, and then hopefully at some point, you know, all of that recording and all that sort of stuff goes into, you know, more upload videos and that sort of stuff. It's just, I just simply don't have the time to do all of that right now with all these live streams going. So yeah, it takes me quite a bit longer to go through. I ventured into Act 2 probably 5 weeks ago, if I had to guess. And I am just now ready to enter Act 3. And I probably added... I'd have to go look at Steam and see. But I've probably added another 130 hours or so in Act 2. So just in... And that's obviously not me just playing it straight through. That's me playing it different multiple ways. And seeing how stuff on the forums I've read and other content creators' YouTube videos about stuff, how that actually plays out in person. So I am just about to enter Act 3. Act 2's amazing, by the way. I mean, for not spoiling anything, but yeah, I mean that's exactly it, Eric. There is so much content in Act 2, and the content is so deeply involved. I spent a lot of time in Act 1 between early access and these playthroughs, but Act 2 surpassed all of my expectations. I think my food's just about ready here, so I'll be chatting, but so feel free to keep commenting here. I'm just going to be moving my mic out of the way and grabbing some mouthfuls here while we get ready. Yeah, only got a few minutes here left before we get started, so. I consider the Kresh to be still part of Act 1. There's actually a fairly spirited discussion about that on the forums. I don't think it's necessarily right or wrong either way. How you consider the progression there. But the mountain pass, in my opinion, is like the Underdark. It is a content-filled middle ground before you get to the Shadowlands and that sort of stuff. But yeah, Eric, that's the biggest comment that I see most often, is that everyone considers the Underdark and the conclusion of the Nier quest line as the end of Act 1, and that certainly makes, you know, a lot of sense. I can't argue with it, you know, in that way. So in my mind, it doesn't really matter one way or another. Larian has weighed in on it a little bit, but again, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter one way or the other. Alright everyone, we'll get started here in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to put up the be right back, and I'm going to go drop my food off and be right back. Just in time for the music finale. Welcome everyone to today's live stream, episode 14 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Paladin gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, first, I apologize for being a little late there, trying to get some preliminary video editing done on the last live stream. Before I went live here, like I say, I've been dedicating myself to getting that caught up, and we will be caught up today, so again, thank you for sticking with me on the backlog of video editing there. I apologize. I'll do my best not to let that happen again. So, on some admin notes, the big note from this week is obviously patch 4. Talked about this during the Bard live stream. Please go to either Larian's website, or if you have, or if you're accessing the game through Steam, you can look at it in the Larian launcher. That comes up when you start the game, and there's a link in there that will open a window for it. Patch 4 is the biggest patch to date released by Larian for all sorts of changes, balances, and fixes. The list is extensive. There's over 1,000 of them. It took me over an hour to read through every line of them. And it's extensive. There's a lot of bug fixes. There's a lot of improvements, especially for console and or controller users. There's a big change for FSR 2.2 compatibility, which is a huge benefit for Steam Deck and things like that, as well as for graphics cards utilizing FSR 2 and upscaling, 2.2 and upscaling. There are dozens of dialogue and animation fixes. There are a bunch of aesthetic changes. There are a bunch of user interface changes. And there's also been a balance pass done to correct some things to bring them more in line with tabletop like they always should have been. I can't call those things a nerf, really. Most of them, I think, were unintended gameplays anyway. But they do have some decreases in ranged combat specifically, and sorcery point usage as well. So people can call those nerfs all they want. Again, I don't think the game was operating like it should have been previously, but feel free to take a look at all of those things, because like I say, it was extensive. Larian has also paid an extraordinary amount of attention to player feedback on their forums. If you don't have an account on the forums, and you aren't giving input, then please think about taking the opportunity to do so, because Larian is obviously listening to input from the player base. They have implemented some changes here which were specifically asked for from a quality of life standpoint, and I don't expect that that's going to stop anytime soon. So again, Larian proving once again that they are setting a really high bar for other developers and publishers out there when it comes to their games. And feel free, go take a look at the patch notes. It's much too long to go through all of them here, but feel free to take a look at them and explore all the changes. So, on a recap, at the end of last episode, we had finished going through the drow encounter. We went and took our long rest, went back to camp, had a vision again with our guardian, our dream guardian, and came back in, and Volo was waiting to talk to us. And I think we all know what that means, but we are going to jump in and see what Volo has to say to us, and see if we can get something done here before we head out and explore some more through the Underdark. Okay, so here we are in camp, and Volo wants to talk to us.
Something's on my mind.
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much. My research turned up a rather brilliant technique that seems quite actionable. It's not too deep, just behind the orbital socket. I could attempt an extraction. I've a needle in my tunic, after all.
Said this before, I will say it again. If you are squeamish, turn away. This is your final warning.
Volo carefully holds one of your eyes open and begins to prod uncertainly with the needle. The needle finds the gap between eyeball and socket. Volo frowns and begins to push. Pain shoots through your body as the needle snags on your optic nerve.
I think I have it!
The needle seesaws back and forth, plucking the nerve like a harp string.
Oh, bother. There's some obstacle in the way. I shall need a more robust implement.
Volo carefully withdraws the needle from your eye. Then, reaching into his bag, he produces an ice pick. Volo slowly brings the ice pick closer to your eye.
Now, don't move.
Cold metal presses against the skin beneath your brow. And then, tap, tap, stab.
Do you feel that? Ha! I agree. It's a feisty critter. Just a little further.
Volo tears the pick from your brain with a violent jerk. Your eye plops down into the mud.
Drat!
He pauses, looks down at your eye, and recoils slightly as it sinks into the mud.
There appears to be an amount of cosmetic damage. please, try not to overexert yourself. You're in a rather fragile state at present. I can't help but feel partly responsible. Perhaps there is something more I can do. Take this. A far superior relic to that old jelly you were chained to. Try it on for size. And, it was very nice to have met you. I'm sure you'll sort out your little brain problem one way or another. Far away from here, if you've a heart. Terribly sorry, my friend. Ta.
And with that, Volo will take off. That's not the last you're going to see of him. The bleeding eye condition will go away, and we are left with see invisibility as a permanent condition now. So all invisible creatures within 9 meters of you need to pass a dexterity saving throw or lose their invisibility. So can be very useful. It is arguably the most useful on Astarion from the standpoint of later on, later on, but not too far out from where we are, we're going to pick up an item for him that's going to allow him to go invisible pretty much at will, and have him, with his high movement speed, with his dash ability, and the ability for him to be invisible, moving him around the battlefield to be able to spot invisible characters can be very, very useful. So arguably, it is probably more useful on Astarion or your rogue / ranger / support type of martial character than it is your frontline character. However, I have a fairly selfish reason. And it's a purely role-playing reason for not giving it to Astarion. I've told you before, Astarion is one of my favorite characters in the game. He's very polarizing among the community, it seems, but he's one of my favorite characters. The voice actor who voiced his lines is just amazing. But I don't want to take Astarion in this role-playing capacity. The one thing that he cares about above almost all else is his vanity. Losing one of his, in his opinion, extraordinarily beautiful eyes really just doesn't keep, in tune with Astarion or anything like that. But yeah, arguably more useful on him than anybody else, but I normally do it on my main playthrough characters. So let me take one more look and just make sure all of my reactions are still set up like they need to be. Okay, they are. So now we will take our, this is one of the other changes. They added an icon for the magic mirror on your camp page now. So you can see exactly where it is. They also have added an icon for Wither's Wardrobe. So when you get into companions, or when you get into hirelings, you can see where that is located on your map as well. Just another one of those quality of life things that they changed in the patch here.
No, never mind.
So we're going to go ahead and leave camp.
Let's see.
And yes, CK, my oath is vengeance. However, I don't expect to keep it all that long. I know I am going to get into some situations where I disagree with how Oath of Vengeance is coded, but until that point, we'll just kind of wait and see. So now our standard coming out of long rest things. We need to bind our weapon. Okay, so if you'll see it because of the purple icon here. This now gets me my charisma use for this. We also want to change out, and this reminds me, I need to
My faith protects
sort my inventories again.
Close. Quite ready for you.
No one stopped me yet.
Okay, and it's not
me. My faith
here.
will guide me.
Here's the ever-seeing eye. We'll place that on. And then we'll have Shadowheart go back to the Amulet of Restoration. And then we're good.
I've got a long road ahead.
Oh yeah, Eric, that can be a game changer if you forget to do it. So let's take a second and look at our mini map here. We have gone through the Arcane Tower. We have gone through the Susser Tree. Now that's an interesting question. In that, did we go back? Well, I guess I can look here and find out. Okay, I can't. Where's the craft the weapon quest? Do we still have the Susser Bark somewhere in our inventory?
Lovely day this. For now.
I don't see it.
Have a lot on my mind and, well, in it.
Did we just not pick it up from the tree? Because I don't see
I wonder what the next move is.
a Susser Greatsword in my inventory anywhere. But I don't see the Susser Bark either.
Charmed, I'm sure.
I'm just getting old, chat. My memory isn't what it used to be.
Shouldn't have
Let's,
wished for more interesting times.
Finish exploring this area here. And then we will actually take a quick trip back over to the Susser Tree and see if we just didn't collect the bark. We might not have. Okay, so from here I have finished this, yes.
Rhodes have seen everything. Always room for more? my hand.
Okay, so we'll do some searching in here real quick.
Don't touch me. With pleasure.
We don't want to use her guidance because she's already concentrating on a spell right now. Ooh, it's a good size roll. A good roll to start off the stream. That's not good.
I wonder if Lolth's pets left.
Okay, and again, the drow studded leather armor here. The Priest page here talks about the fact that this is a Lolth sanctuary. We do have some basilisk oil here and an antidote.
It's mine now.
And a book here. Again, a little bit more of the Drow and Lolthsworn lore to read through. You do get an inspiration for that, so make sure you do read it. And I believe...
Ready and willing.
No, it's here. This is for the Sage background. So anyone with the Sage background is going to be able to get an inspiration for that. I was just checking to make sure
At least things have
if
stayed
it what the
interesting.
background choice or the background selection was for that. Okay, so now here we are. You can see that we've got the beach area of the Underdark left to explore. Looking at our quests here, we picked up this because of the slate that we picked up in the Arcane Tower. It's going to become a part of advancing Lae'zel's personal quest. We got the quest from Sovereign Spaw to defeat the Dwergar intruders at the beach, which we're going to do. And we need to avenge Glut's Circle by killing that same group. We also learned that the Adamantine Forge is hidden deep within the Underdark, and that's going to be expanding as we go. But I'm going to quickly fast travel over to the Susser Tree.
Keep your distance.
Going to break the group, and I'm going to head up here. Okay, we just didn't collect it.
Let's have it. I've never seen a tree like that. Bark must be a rarity.
Never a dull moment.
Okay, so now we're going to advance toward the Underdark beach here. And based upon where we are, this is actually a good way for us to explore that. So rather than heading back this way, I'm going to take a slightly different path around the south side of the tree here.
If not over, then through.
And you notice that I am not healing the Bulette. There's a reason for that. Which we're going to get into more of when we get in here. Okay, so here's the Decrepit village. There are multiple ways into the Decrepit village. This is the main entrance here. You have another entrance on this side, which takes you up to the side entrance, or the main entrance to the Myconid colony. You also have another entrance here where you can come over near the Arcane Tower and you can jump across this gap here to get into this area of the Decrepit village. This location is a good way for us to enter into this area just because we're dragging the Bulette around with us. And the Bulette is, as we all know, a little bit hard to maneuver. So what we're going to do here is put everybody into hiding. We're going to toggle the group, and we're going to kind of move a few of our characters
Secrecy above all.
out of the way a little bit.
Need to tread softly.
They won't see me come. Forthwith.
Keeping my head down.
And from here, we actually want Glut to be moved a bit more over here. And we are going to start this off with the Bulette. There are multiple enemies down here in this area, and we learned from Sovereign Spaw that the Dwergar like to pop in and out of invisibility, and that's one of the things that's going to happen here. However, we can the Bulette does not go into hiding. It can't go into hiding. So we're going to move it up just a little bit. And you also have this warning now. This is something that some people called a nerf, but again, it was an unintended gameplay mechanic. Spore servants that you resurrect cannot cast spells. That's a tabletop rule as well for the animating spores spell. But in this game, you could resurrect like Dorn or somebody like that and have full access to their spellcasting capabilities. And that has now been removed because they're dead. You're reanimating them. They don't really have an intelligence, so to speak. You're controlling them completely. So they don't really have the ability to cast spells. And this is just bringing it more in line with that. So they just put a warning up here and let you know about it. So for here, I'm going to start this off by deadly leaping into a location. Now, whether or not you get seen here is a little bit 50-50-ish. Because again, you cannot see the detection cones of invisible enemies. I happen to know where most of the enemies are here, so I'm cheesing this a little bit. But I'm going to deadly leap right into this location here with the Bulette.
Die, so you're
carcass can rise.
Okay, so you can see I caused a large amount of damage to Lurgan here. They are surprised because of this combat. Lurgan is Lurgan? Okay, he's not prone. But now we're sitting right here and we can try and execute a bite attack on him. And this gets you can't always target the, I believe you can do it this way. Yes. Okay, so he missed. That's not a big deal. I am now going to use my movement speed. Okay, I was hoping that my path was not going to be interrupted there, but it looks like it is. Let me move away. This is going to incur an attack of opportunity. Oh, it didn't. Good. Okay, so I don't have enough movement speed left to trigger it. So can I get down here now? I can. Hey, path is still interrupted here. Okay. So now I can enter everybody else into this combat. Now, the issue that you're going to run into is, again, we still have some invisible enemies here that we can't see. If we go back to the Bulette, you can see that we have 2 enemies that are invisible right now.
Waiting with bated breath.
And one of them is right here, looking out this direction. So getting to Lurgan here can be problematic. So what I'm going to do is take my Paladin around this way. It's going to be dragging Glut with him, but that's fine. I honestly don't care whether Glut lives or dies in these encounters. Okay, and I'm going to see if I am able to sneak my way around here or not. The reason I come around this way is because I know the detection cone overlaps a huge chunk of this. And I know there is a slight path to get through here that works sometimes. So we're going to try and sneak our way through here. If we get caught, we get caught. Doesn't really matter all that much. Okay, so we made it. And now here we have a couple of options. So Lurgan doesn't have all that many hit points left. We could start by... We'd actually have to move a little bit, which is fine. Okay, so that won't knock him off. And this has a 65% chance. I think I'll just start by getting rid of him with a regular attack. I shouldn't need to do a whole lot here. I don't think... Okay, so I don't necessarily want to use Luck of Far Realms on him. Okay, he's got 3 hit points left. Don't necessarily need to use a level 1 Divine Smite, or level 2, but I will use one of my level 1s. Okay, and that didn't even put me into combat. Oh, yes it did. But I still have all my movement here. Okay, it did not put Glut into combat, though. So let's move Glut up here. Get him into combat and see if we can expose... Okay, so we couldn't. That's fine. Let's move him up to here. I'm going to hold the remainder of this turn.
Really? Now?
And I would like... Yeah, I know what I would like to do with Gale. I do not want to take him down that way to do it, though.
Immediately.
Okay, we're going to move Gale over here. Onto this side. Don't know if he's going to be able to reach from there. He might be able to. Okay, so the detection cones are a little bit different here. Okay, I think I'm going to hold his turn indefinite. I'm going to hold his turn for, or his actions entirely for now, and wait for the next turn to materialize.
Still breathing, despite everything.
I'm not going to be able to get down here. I think I can probably jump down there. Yes, I can. Okay. I think that's a good spot. Once I get some reveals here on the next turn. So he did raise, Get Cold did raise them. And he jumped, he stepped up. Okay. So, Get Coal is moved up to here. I honestly don't care about Get Coal with my Bulette. What I want to do... Let's...
Blood comes easy these days.
The reanimated corpse, I think we can deal with, because now this detection cone is opened. Good. I can see Holvik now. So let's see if I can get Astarion into a spot
Quietly.
where he can sneak attack the animated corpse here. I think I probably can. I think there's a little spot right through here. Okay, so now the question is, do I have path interrupted or not? I do not. Okay. So they're immune to poison, but that's it. Okay, so he's got 4 hit points left. I would prefer him dead.
Another fight. Let's go.
Before I go up to engage. And I can probably shriek. And maybe kill him. Well, I'm gonna have to use an action either way to do it. Let's instead see if I can get Gale here. Can I reach him? I can't. It's gotta be just a tiny bit short. Okay, I think I'm just going to take the attack of opportunity. Okay, it missed. I definitely want to get the Bulette down here. Okay, so... what do they have left? 1 hit point on, like, everybody?
Come on, can't stay idle.
So I'm not getting attacks of opportunity there, which is good. Can I... make it up here? I can't. I can Misty Step up there, though. I'd prefer not to. I think I'll just take the attack of opportunity here as well.
Another step forward.
Oh, okay, he doesn't... I might have missed that. Do they not have attacks? They have opportunity attacks. Oh, he's out of reactions because he took it against the Bulette. That's right. Think, Draval. Pay attention. Okay, so here, let's go ahead and get in my first attack. Actually, no, I prefer to use that later. We will use Luck of the Far Realms here to guarantee a crit. And we will Divine Smite. So he's got 4 hit points left. And now... oh, that's a shame. I was hoping to end him right there in 1 turn. I could have done a Pommel Strike and used my other Divine Smite on the Pommel Strike, but that's a bit overkill, in my opinion. But now we have some other opportunities here, so I can get Shadowheart involved now.
Better tread carefully.
I didn't look at the combat order. Who's next? Bunch of reanimated corpses are next, and then Astarion will go before Get Cole does. So I think we're going to go after Holvik here instead, because Astarion will be able to take out Get Cole before he gets another turn. So targets, here we go with this. Again, let's move Astarion, or actually Shadowheart. I think I can just instead use a Guiding Bolt. What's my chance to hit? 94%. We'll upcast it. And then Gale, I had a plan for that didn't involve this, but you can't reach him, so I'll just remove all the animated corpses except for that one. He's burning, so he might die on his next turn anyway. And then Glut has an opportunity here to make a punch attack, and that ends that. Okay, so Astarion is going to be able to... I think Cole is still facing away. He is. So let's click heals with... Actually, no, let's not. Let's put him... I don't think it matters. But I want to guarantee this kill. Okay.
Be quick.
Can't afford to let up. On my way.
See if she has line of sight. She does. Okay. And now all we have is Novice Garmor down here. And I can cast... I'm going to take a long rest after this.
Victory is assured.
Now, where can I reach? All the way down here. Don't think I want to yet. I'm going to keep Gale right up there where he is. Novice Garmor should come up and attack the Bulette. He did. So the Bulette has a chance to do an attack here. I would actually prefer... Actually, that's probably good. I wanted that to happen. Okay.
Well, so much for peace.
And now, for everybody else, we're just going to concentrate ranged attacks here. I'm going to try and keep a little separation. Let's... got this interrupted there. Oh, that was just slightly interrupted there.
At the ready.
Prefer to have kept him upstairs, but I can counteract that. Come on. Okay. And then Glut, I'm actually going to move Glut back in here. Okay, for Astarion, I would like to get, let's see where range moves him to. So it moves him up to here. He's in the detection cone here, but he's threatened. Yes, he is, so it doesn't matter. That's going to trigger sneak attack. And get my offhand attack with it. Okay, good.
Let's finish this.
Shadowheart, I'm just going to move down here, out of the way.
Moving.
So let me make sure how I want this to play out. Yeah, I think this is what I want to do. Please go after the Bulette. Okay, he missed. Didn't like that very much.
This is worth the cost.
Okay, well this gives me the opportunity to move my Paladin back up here. Okay. So now
is cleansed. The tumor is excised. The Dwega are dead. Here I break ground. From the dark will a mighty circle rise. My song will fill the grotto. Death Doer. The grotto may sustain but one sovereign. In the age of Glut, there may be no Spaw. Eliminate the other sovereign.
okay. So I specifically positioned some of my characters knowing the outcome of this. So you have a choice here to side with Glut and eliminate all of the Myconids in the Myconid colony, or you can continue on and side with Spaw. So we do have an Oath of Vengeance here option, which is going to be interesting to explore. So retribution requires righteous cause. So why would I betray Spaw?
A fate it has earned. My circle long suffered while the Dwergar flourished. I sang to Spaw for help. Yet it cowered in the grotto and let my people be slaughtered. Choose, smooth mind. Help me grow a mighty circle and reap the reward. Or protect the precious poltroon as it waits for the circle of Glut to devour it whole.
Okay, so we have, again, the options here, and I'm not entirely sure how this is coded. So I guess we'll kind of see. I'm not going to side with Glut in this one. I'm going to side with Spaw.
It is my right. It is my right.
Its delicate harmonies turn to scrapes and scratches.
Your corpse will birth my circle.
Okay, so Glut turns hostile. The Bulette is also hostile. Okay, and that's why I wanted the Bulette down here, is so I can deal with Spaw without interference from the Bulette. So here we're just going, we do have another Divine Smite left. We'll take our bonus action here. I'm not sure what he's labeled as. So a plant.
What now?
Ready or not.
Okay, now Astarion is not in combat here.
They won't see me coming.
What am I to do?
Salutations.
Okay, so now Gale is in combat with the Bulette.
What's next? Unseen.
Going to bring up the detection cones again and see if I can finish the Bulette off with Shadowheart here. I should be able to. Perfect. Now the Bulette's gone again. It is just Glut that is left. Gale is now out of combat again.
Yes. You've got the wrong man for this. Right away.
"29 hit points.
So much for Circle Glut.
I doubt any tears will be shed. Or
Okay, so the important thing to know about that encounter is that it's important to take the Bulette down here into this lower level before you talk to an anger Glut. There are very few ways that the Bulette can actually make its way out of here. The only way that I've seen it happen is, again, to jump up to here and then make another jump to get somewhere else. So if you're up on this upper level, most of the time you can avoid the deadly leaps entirely, and it runs out of movement, and you can then attack it that way. But putting it down here is the safest way to go about it before you talk to Glut and possibly anger him. Okay, so crafting materials. Okay, and now we will continue on searching bodies here. So we're going to search with Astarion. This is probably going to encumber Astarion. No, is really close. So now we'll continue searching with Gale. You pick up the Exterminator's Axe, which is on Get-Cole's body. This has Scourge of Pests. This is a trait that deals an additional 1d6 fire damage to plants, insects, or small creatures. So small creatures being an important part there, because that doesn't differentiate, is purely based on size. Plants or insects, obviously situational, but your spiders, your woodwoads, that sort of stuff, obviously count as plants. So situationally, it can be quite good. It's 1d12 as opposed to 2d6, like it is for a greatsword, but the 1d6 fire is more than, again, the Everburn Blade, which is 1d4. However, it's only situational against certain enemies. It's not something that I keep very often. The Dwergar Antidote is what is needed to cure Thula. We've already cured her, though, so it doesn't really matter. That we get it here, it just serves as another antidote at this point.
Right away.
I don't know as if I've noticed a moss-colored stone here before either. Oh, I guess it's just that must have been where Get-Cole was sitting at. Interesting. Where... Oh, yes, that's right. You need to come down the rope netting. That's fine. On the way over, I will do some more searching over here. And again, the Crooked Wand of Fireballs, we talked about it previously. You don't want to utilize it Unless you have some way to both mitigate fire damage and have high dexterity to pass the dex saving throw for it, because as soon as you click it, it's going to go off right in your face. Yes, that's exactly kind of what I'm getting at with that axe, Eric, is that there are a lot of small size creatures in the game. And the axe can be quite useful situationally if you know going into a combat that you're going to encounter those types of enemies. Okay, so we will change over here and...
There is work to do.
Where did we move it to? We moved it to Shadowheart. We will replicate something we did
One with the weed.
last stream. We will have Gale put on the mask of the shapeshifter. We'll have him shapeshift into a gnome. And there are multiple holes here in the rock that you can interact with.
Ah, looks like I
You get a
found
bone out of that one.
a piece of bone. How riveting.
But here is the one.
The wall is riddled with holes. A suffocating stench of long rotten meat wafts out.
Okay, these checks are... the survival check here is wisdom based. Doesn't really matter if you pass this or not. Well, that's good. We got a 3 out of the way. So not going to roll it again.
The tunnels were created deliberately, but whether by tools or claws, you cannot say.
You learn that those are carrion crawlers that created these holes. Because I'm short now, I have the ability to reach into one of the holes here.
The passage narrows and bends. You're shoulder deep when your fingers brush against a fleshy tentacle. You flinch, but the tentacle is limp and cold. You push it aside and retrieve something loose lying beneath.
Okay, so you pass the wisdom check there, and you're able to retrieve the topaz from inside of there. Now I can remove the shapeshift and return Gale to his
Elminster's not
full
around,
normal
so
size.
might as well.
No time to rest. Have to keep going.
I'm gonna move up here and break our group, and again, Shadowheart has the highest strength.
Whatever comes, I'm ready.
We're going to have... I don't know if Astarion can actually reach her. I don't want her to cast
I'm ready. Whatever
guidance.
it takes.
Can she make it back up? She can. Let's have Astarion cast guidance.
No time to dally.
Then we'll jump across because there's going to be a perception check to make. And we were successful
What's that?
to pick up the gold necklace here.
Let's try this way.
And then if you have high enough strength, you can make the jump back up here. Otherwise, you've got to make a jump down here and you'll take a slight amount of fall damage.
Let's move.
It's not much.
I need to find a way forward.
Everyone seems to love antagonizing Gale.
What's that?
Okay, so we have some arrows for Astarion. We do have another potion of animal speaking, which we will take.
Don't mind if I do.
Start picking up some stuff, but we might get overloaded here. And if we do, we'll go and clear out our inventory. Okay, so let's clear out our camp supplies here. And you may wonder why I'm holding on to the owlbear egg. There's a reason that I'm keeping that on me. You don't have to keep it on you this entire time, but I don't want to forget about it. There is a use for this. So me not selling it and not using it for camp supplies is going to become a little bit important a little bit later on. Okay, and we will be going back to empty out. That's what I should have saved those for. The Karlach alchemy pouch, I should have saved that to be able to put alchemy items in it and store it in my camp chest without them going everywhere, keeping them inside of a pouch. But neither here nor there. All of these scrolls I can put into our nifty
Oh, I have the magic touch.
spell tome here. That we kind of made for Gale. Clean all those up.
Watch your back.
No rest for the wicked, I see. Your desire.
Okay. I love that book. That book is
Let's get
awesome.
going.
I'm glad we found that. Okay, so we will head back up top here and climb down the rope netting here. Yes, they do, Eric. I have saved those, so we will certainly be putting those to use as well.
What creatures live in waters this dark? More for me.
Let's continue looting with Gale here.
These.
There is a letter here. You're going to learn more about the fact that there are more Dwergar on the opposite side of Ebonlake. Ebonlake is this body of water out here.
This will come in handy.
Out here. We're going to learn more about that as we go through today. There's a discarded journal here where you learn about the Ironfoot clan and what they're doing out here with their excavation.
upon it.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Trust no one.
Wits and blades, always sharp.
That's curious.
An arrow of many targets. Actually nice.
All's well that ends not as bad as it could have.
Okay, more camp supplies. There shouldn't be anything left on the Bulette. Yeah.
Color me curious. What have we here? Yes, of course.
Another blood-smeared logbook down here, which you can read again. There's nothing really in it. Just talks about the fact they've been mining some stuff over here till they were so rudely interrupted by the Dwergar. Okay, and I think that's it.
In for a surprise?
I don't think I searched this animal carcass previously.
Onward.
That's an interesting question, CK. You're not... If... I'd actually have to go back to 5E and see... Eric, you might be able to answer this as well, because it's... I don't know as if I've done this in a very long time. If you dip a bow, are you dipping the arrow or are you dipping the bow? If you dip a ranged weapon. And that, I can't remember how the mechanic exactly works. But if you're dipping the bow, then it should definitely apply it to all arrows loosed from it. If you are dipping the arrow, that may or may not. It's an interesting rules question, and honestly one that I don't know as if I've ever run into myself before. So, honestly don't know. I could test it out here, but again, since I'm not save scumming, it'd be something I'd test off stream or something like that. Okay, so now looking at our journal, we did defeat the Dwergar, so we need to head back and talk to Sovereign Spaw, and we refused to help Glut. He was upset about that and attacked us because of it, so... Okay, so let's go ahead and head back to the Myconid colony.
Have you spoken? Breathe deep and move.
And we will go talk to Spaw.
I want to have a word.
It greets you with a harrowing elegy, cheerless as the new moon. The music shifts, still melancholic, but now streaked with hope.
Do you hear a new harmony?
Yeah, that makes sense. Eric, thanks for answering that. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen anybody do that in a tabletop campaign.
Fragrant spores waft through the air. Your heart swells with bliss with your every breath.
Freely you have given to us. Freely you may take. The Guardian Gate is open. Go and claim your reward. But before this, I have another boon to ask of you. You have cut out the Dwergar blight, but not its source.
In your mind's eye, Spaw shows you a drow striding among Myconid dead.
Near. This one is called. He hunted us. Hunt him in turn. Bring me his head, and I will know my circle is safe. The drow lurks in the ruins beyond the lake. Bring him death, and return.
The caveat to that, CK, is that that does not necessarily mean that's how it acts in this game. The reason I say that is that in this game you do not have to keep track of ammunition. Meaning you do not have regular bolts for your crossbow or regular arrows for your bow. You are able to select different types of arrows here before you execute the attack. But if you don't execute the attack, you can't necessarily tell the crossbow here, I want to load the arrow of fire and then dip it in a different surface or something like that. So it's kind of interesting as to how this would apply. If you dip, for instance, your ranged weapon into an acid surface here, it would obviously apply acid to a regular ranged attack, but does selecting a specific arrow type mean that your dip would then go away? Or does it also apply that dipped condition to whichever arrow you select? It's a little different in how the mechanic itself might operate here in this game. So, like I say, that is what the rules say. However, I would be, like I say, kind of anxious to figure out how that would work with the fact that you select multiple arrows here out of your inventory when you go to use it. So it'd be, like I say, it's an interesting testing topic. It's just not something that I run into. So we are done out here. So I believe we still have the Noblestalk. We do. So let's go turn that in.
Over there.
Down here.
Look at that. Got my useless old man back. I suppose that's your doing. His hands are empty as a whole. We'll have to send him back out soon enough. Please, Balin's got a job to do. We can leave when he's done it. Love? Never heard of it. Balin's meek now, but he used to be a rotten old bastard. Treated me like an old shoe for 70 years. Losing his mind was the only good he ever did by me. Collecting Noblestalk. Valuable mushroom. We've a shop in Baldur's Gate. The locals go mad for it. Nearly nothing it can't cure. Blindness, poison, hair loss. Probably. But Balin in his right mind wasn't worth half of Noblestalk. I know him better than anyone. Got the scars to prove it.
Lord Henry, no, I haven't given it to Shadowheart. It's in Astarian's inventory right now. I guess I haven't gotten to, I'm just now about to enter Act 3 in my personal playthrough, so I have not explored the consequences of the Noblestalk and what benefits it does or does not have with bone cloaks when you meet them again in Baldur's Gate. So I guess for the sake of doing something different, I could give it to Shadowheart here in this playthrough. It's right here. So, just to quickly go over what we picked up the gloves of uninhibited Kashigo. We talked about these in the Bard playthrough. Throw attacks and improvised weapon attacks are a barbarian specialty. There are monk builds that also can go after those sort of things as well. These are not armor, these are just gloves. So as such, they will not inhibit your unarmored defense from a barbarian. And this would allow them to get additional damage from either of those two attacks. It's not something I'm going to be focused on in this playthrough, but it is there and available to use for you. So let's go ahead and open up Shadowheart and
dangerous, you know. At least let's talk about it first.
Still alive.
Okay.
So that's progress.
So can we
I had another dream. Which, I suppose, means you did as well. Whoever's reaching out to us truly does seem opposed to the Absolute, but wants us to embrace the tadpole. Venture right into the heart of the cult. Perhaps we truly have a secret protector. Or we're walking into a trap.
Okay, so here's the option to do it here. Couldn't remember if you had to do it from our inventory or from here.
I can't. My memories are being withheld for a reason. Lady Shah will return them to me when the time is right, no sooner. Besides, mushrooms aren't my favorite. I think it's because of the gills.
Okay, this is interesting because now that I'm thinking about it, I know how I want to play this playthrough. And I'm wondering what impact this is going to have on my plans for this playthrough. This could get very interesting. So let's see how this plays out. Like I say, I'm anxious to see how this goes. I have a very specific plan, at least through Act 2, on how I wanted to play some of the origin character quest lines. And I have a very specific plan for Shadowheart. And I'm anxious to see... I guess I'm a little nervous also to see if this might disrupt that.
All right, give it here. I remember something. Not everything. It's new and not new at the same time. All jumbled up. I was younger. Much younger. An initiate at the cloister. I was upset about something. The others were teasing me, mocking my name. Like I wasn't worthy of it. There was another. A tiefling boy with short horns and purple hair. I think he was my friend. He tried to make me feel better. Ronald. That's the last part of it I remember. That must be his name. Perhaps he's still there in Baldur's Gate.
Okay, interesting.
Well, my day just improved. Did you want something?
Okay, so I doubt these are going to lead into anything else, but we can
Fine.
explore.
What's on your mind?
See if she has any other conversations. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so we did. Okay, so there's a friend in Baldur's Gate that we we can go talk to. So it doesn't look like it's affected how I want to play her out, but I don't know if we're actually going to be able to have that reunion or not. We will have to see. Okay, so here the gate is opened up for our reward in here. Couple of scrolls over here, blindness, ray of sickness, and one of the best items in the game. Whoops. Not for him. For Astarion. We will go over it here in just a second.
Stopped me yet. I'll take that.
A long way to go still.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Xargrim, conjurer, seeker, glory. We search for the adamantine forge. Lost workshop of Siluviali. Finest weapons in all creation. Dawn knows, but cannot tell. Filro, Dorn, each held knowledge none would share.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay, so we learned some more about the lore of what led us down here. Filro was the magic user that we killed up near the Hook Horrors. Dorn was obviously the petrified magic user that we killed or that the spectator more appropriately killed up in that encounter. Xargrim was the last one of the three, and now we found his body here.
What's this? Flumph mating rituals. Acquired taste, I'm sure, but not mine. Nor a drowse, I would have thought.
Okay, so the Flumph mating rituals book here. It's got an orange outline to it.
The cover proudly announces this book to be Flumph Mating Rituals.
Okay, so we have a wizard option here that's going to give us advantage and +4 from intelligence, or we have an investigation option here, which is going to give us +7 because of our investigation proficiency. So the numbers actually work this out that the advantage would be better to do here than the +3 from investigation proficiency. Oh, okay.
Underdark fauna is a topic much written on, but this title has never appeared in any collection you've seen. The scrutiny proves too much. The lurid text melts away before your eyes. An illusion. What remains are simple instructions written in a spare hand. The secret to forging adamantine.
Okay, so this book gives you exact instructions for how to operate the Great Forge. It tells you what you need, it tells you the order in which you need to place things, it tells you what you have to do to activate it and how to forge things. So this is the book that was disguised by Xargrim to be something different, that holds the key to letting you know how to actually operate the adamantine forge once you find it. So we learned a lot about the adamantine forge here. We learned about the group of drow looking for it, but they fought over it and could never find it. And then we found out how to use it once we do find it. I need to consolidate some items here. We do have the 3 items of icy quality here. We can combine all 3 of those into Morning Frost. Now, Morning Frost is really good. Right now, we're using the Staff of Arcane Blessing because of its Bless ability and the additional 2d4 dispel attack rolls that it gives. However, you can utilize the Staff of Arcane Blessing to cast that Bless ability, which lasts for 10 turns before you go into combat with it. And then while the buff is still active, swap over to Morning Frost to use during the combat. Morning Frost is a +1 quarterstaff that has 2 great perks or traits that go along with it, plus something to take advantage of those traits. So the first thing about it is the Heart of Ice. So when dealing cold damage, you deal an additional +1 cold damage. Any creature that is frostbitten will take 1 cold damage per turn of frostbite remaining. So it can inflict damage over time, depending upon other spells that you might have that can inflict the frostbitten condition. It also has Insidious Cold, which means that whenever you deal cold damage with a spell, it can chill the target, which means that all attacks after that do double damage if they're cold attacks. The enemy becomes vulnerable to cold damage. However, as the counterpart to that, they are resistant to fire damage, which means they always take half damage from any fire attacks. The way to take advantage of this is because you have the Ray of Frost cantrip here. So if you don't already have the Ray of Frost cantrip, even though I do already have it on Gale, Morning Frost allows you to cast it. So this is kind of an all-in-one damage dealing plus possible damage over time dealing staff that, if you don't have that cantrip available, can become even more powerful because it gives it to you. But that Ray of Frost cantrip is not the only way to deal frost damage. We have Ice Knife as well. So Morning Frost works with Ice Knife as well. It deals cold damage. We're going to be dealing additional cold damage to those targets, and then once we've hit them with it, they become vulnerable to cold damage, and now Ice Knife can do twice the damage against a target. So it can expand your cold spell's damage dealing ability quite a bit. So again, this is one of those where you can, before you get into a combat situation, you can use the Staff of Arcane Blessing to cast the Bless ability that comes with it to gain the additional attack roll bonuses for your spells. Swap to Morning Frost, and then use something like Ice Knife, which needs an attack roll. You can see down there on the bottom, to hit. And now if you're using Morning Frost, it can dramatically improve because you've got that Bless on, it can dramatically improve the attack roll that Ice Knife needs to hit, and then when it hits, the additional damage from Morning Frost procs with it. So it's a great early game staff to have. I've seen people that have this quite a bit through into the start of Act 3. Once you get into Act 3, you really come up with stuff that makes this kind of take a back seat. But it's a really good staff to have at this point in the game.
I've got a long road ahead. Swift as my feet can carry me.
Okay, so now we're done in here. Let's talk to Dareth and get rid of a bunch of items.
Look at that! Got my useless old man back. I suppose that's your doing. His hands are empty as a whole. We'll have to send him back out soon enough.
So this is interesting now, because I didn't give her the Noblestalk. Am I even going to encounter her in Baldur's Gate? Or not? Or is she going to keep looking around for Noblestalk down here? That's interesting. I think I'm going to not worry about upping my attitude with her. Because honestly, I don't know if I'm going to encounter her again. So yeah, that's something interesting that I need to think about. So for now, we'll just utilize her to sell off the items that we have. probably should be collecting these ingots.
Well, hello.
Okay, so that's about all she has left.
70 years of terror.
Let's go up and talk to Blurg and Omelum here.
How is your more personal research progressing?
Not well. The nutrition my species receives from other minds.
Welcome back. Have you made any new discoveries? I do enjoy a good bargain, if anything in my private collection is to your liking.
Okay, and let's continue selling these things off. We don't need the dog collar anymore. Okay, so I think that clears out the inventories. Okay, and I'll clear out the rest of this stuff later on. That reminds me.
Very well. I have mushrooms to catalog.
Okay. Yes, that reminds me about Astarion.
Oh, well perhaps after I finish my
Well.
research here, I'll join her.
Looking ahead.
Welcome back. Have you made any new discoveries? I do enjoy a good bargain, if anything in my private collection is to your liking.
Because Astarion now has access to medium armors. So right now he's got an armor class 15, he's getting +3 from dexterity. If you changed him over to something like scale mail +1, which we don't have anymore, I don't think. I think we might have sold it to Dareth. That would be a 15 armor class, the same as the chain shirt +2. But he would be gaining +2 from his dexterity, limited to that. So his armor class would go up to 17. Changing him over to something like this. With the chain shirt +2, he'd be gaining a +1 bonus to dexterity saving throws and checks, and 1 less slashing damage, so he would lose advantage on constitution saving throws, and the +1 bonus to stealth checks. The other thing he would lose
Very well. I have mushrooms to catalog.
is the fact that the coolest helmet in the game for him wouldn't look nearly as cool when he doesn't have the drow armor on either. So now it becomes a question of how much into the fit am I, as opposed to upping his armor class by 2 points, which is a huge bonus. It's a 10% bonus in a 10% reduction in the amount of hits that he could take. So I'm going to have to think about that. In the meantime, though, I'm going to buy one while I've got it here from Blurg.
Welcome back. Have you made any new discoveries? I do enjoy a good bargain, if anything in my private collection is to your liking.
I'm going to buy one, just so I have it, but I'm going to send it to my camp for now. And
very well.
I'll pick it out later once I think about it a little bit more. Okay. So now we... Actually, now that we're here, let's make sure we clear out some of these things. So I think I am going to change this over to Gandrel's inspiration. Okay, sorry, I'm just comparing these. Yeah, loving protection, right. That gains me temporary hit points. Okay, going to keep this around. Okay, that's enough cleanup for now. There's more cleanup to be done here, but I want to keep Wargfang on Starian. No, the Sparks wall is light enough. I'll keep it here. And we have the growling underdog. Yeah, right. The jewelry I'm not worried about. Okay. That's enough of boring clearing up stuff. Let's head up to the Blighted Village. The question now is going to come in, did I leave a greatsword in here?
Here we go.
First, before we do that, let's walk around the backside here. I'm curious why I didn't even see that quest. Yeah, I picked them up. Well, I think. Yeah, here's where they are. So I picked them up. Let's go see if I left a greatsword down here in the basement or not. If I didn't, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to buy one off of Aaron in the Grove. I believe in one of, yeah, I think I picked it up
What's hiding here?
Because there was a gap there in that crate. Yeah, there's another gap there. So I think I did. So let's travel back to the Emerald Grove. And we will pick up a greatsword from Aaron here and take it back.
I should speak up.
It'll take a while for us all to recover, but you've helped us take the first step. Of course.
Okay, so great swords. Okay. Here's one here. I'm not entirely sure if this is the one that works or not. Where are the normal icon greatswords? There aren't any. I never sold a single greatsword to Aaron. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, well, I don't see any. I did sell the alchemy pouch, though. Let's buy this back. I was just talking about that I wish I still had it. So we'll take that back. But yeah, I don't see any of the regular greatswords around. This is a greatsword, but it's a different, I think it's coded differently. It's got a different icon to it. And I don't know if this one works or not. I think I tested this and it doesn't work.
May you keep balance.
Well, let's go see. I'm going to be a little upset if I traded them all to Damon, and now that he's already headed off to 2, I can't access him.
There's still life left in this old thing.
Okay, so now the susser tree bark goes in, and it should turn blue.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Okay, so that did work.
Furnace awaits an offering. A candy-sweet scent wafts forth. The Susa bark infuses the weapon from within the flames. The flames sputter away. The sword is complete.
Okay, and that gets you the Susser Greatsword. And the Susser Greatsword is a +1 Greatsword. So it's 2d6 plus whatever your strength modifier is. However, it silences targets on hit. So if you're going into a combat where you know you're going to go up against magic users, then you can bind this weapon before you go into it and use this bound weapon with your charisma to hit and to do damage, but also silencing targets as you hit them. So this is kind of a mobile silence spell and that sort of stuff. So it's a decent backup to have in case you can pre-plan for a magic user encounter. And yeah, CK, there normally are. There's normally one of each type of weapon in these, but I looted these crates earlier when I came down here, and I believe I looted the 3 weapon types from here, because I believe even one of them is not even in a crate. It's like sitting on the ground somewhere, and there's nothing in here anymore, so
Moving ahead.
I'm pretty sure since these are empty, I looted everything and took one of those old greatswords with me. But that new one, that one with the new icon, worked. So we'll keep that with us as we go. So now looking at our quest lines here, we need to... Yeah, this actually... There was a patch note about this now, about this quest completing. I think we're gonna... It won't complete until we actually talk to Mole in Act 2 now. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. But this was a bugged quest encounter. Should have completed already. But it didn't. So I think they fixed this, but I believe to fix it you have to talk to Mole, and when you do, it completes this. So now we need to get to the Adamantine Forge and getting over to Grimforge to save the gnomes and find Nier. And to do that, we are going to head to the Underdark beach. However, before we go in here, we're going to have a long rest. We are going to get all of our spells back. We're going to get all of our action economy back. Even though we just had a long rest, we are going to take another one here. This is different from how I'm playing the Bard playthrough. And there's a reason for that.
What path lies
So
before
first,
me?
let's go around and see if we have any conversations.
First in my heart.
Oh, the other thing is that they've changed Scratch. In that previously... Oh boy, did I do it? This might be a perfect illustration.
A long way to go still.
What to do?
Okay. We get to illustrate it. How fun. Scratch's ball is what your... is the item that allows you to summon Scratch when you're out. It's always been way too easy to accidentally sell off Scratch's ball and not be able to take the ability and move it to different people. It would get stuck on whatever person last had the ball, and you couldn't move it to anybody else. So they realized that, and they gave you a way to fix it. And I think if you just talk to Scratch, he's going to give you another one. I have not done this before, so we'll look at it and see if there's any way to get it back here. Doesn't look like there's any option to get it here. There used to be another ball actually laying on the ground. And this camp I'm not as familiar with. Let me see if I put the ball in here. Oh, okay, so I do have another alchemy pouch in here. Okay, so it's not in the traveler's chest. I don't see it in my... Oh, yes, I do. Okay, they changed it to an orange outline icon. Okay, so now you can't sell it because it's an orange outline item. That makes sense. I was looking for an object that didn't have an outline on it. And if you had already sold it, you could talk to Scratch and he would give you a new one. Orange outlined icons don't show up in your sale screen. You can't double click on them to sell them. So they've made Scratch's ball a quest item that will always stay with you. So something else to know. So let's go over and have our conversations here real quick. And while I'm here, I'm pretty bloodied up, right? There's another option to be able to clean yourself up. I don't actually know how it works. And anybody in chat, if you know how it works, let me know. I would have expected that there would have been a wash basin or something like that added in here. Let's just go wandering around here real quick and see if we see anything. Yeah, there's the other ball. El Scorcho, thanks for saying it's there. I was never entirely sure if that was meant to be a replacement ball, if you lost the one from Scratch or not. Okay, so I don't see anything here right off the bat. It would be a nice thing to illustrate, though, if we can find it. Looking to see if there are any clickable items anywhere around here. I mean, I read that it said that you could use soap and sponges or something like that, but I'm not entirely sure that that meant that there was actually an item in the game that you needed to go pick up from somewhere to do it, or if that was just a metaphor for cleaning yourself up using some other mechanic. I mean, it seems kind of crappy that you would have to go buy I mean, it would be very tabletop-like. Don't get me wrong. For the anal retentive dungeon masters who make you have an item to do anything in particular, then yes, that would be interesting. But I don't see any way to do it. So we'll just go ahead and have our conversations, and I'll explore that off stream.
I had another visit from that dream figure. I take it you did too. It claims that if we infiltrate the heart of the cult that's giving out these parasites, we'll find the answers we're looking for. It gave me another gift, too. Just like it did the first time it appeared. Rather generous, if you ask me. And if that fails, then there's always killing them quietly. Now, was there anything else?
Okay, so we'll talk to him, just make sure there's nothing else.
My favorite traveling companion.
Okay, so I guess according to chat, it is an actual item that you have to loot or go buy. So, great.
Well, my day just improved. Did you want something?
We had these conversations with Shadowheart
Very
previously.
serious of you. But go ahead.
So I don't think there's anything new.
Always good when I'm with you. Fine. What's on your mind? Quite splendidly, to give credit where it's due. You and I have shared some good times together, and it seems we have plenty in common.
Okay, so nothing new for Shadowheart. Lae'zel does want to talk.
Ever since we shared each other's flesh, I've caught you looking at me with lidded eyes. And either like a coward or a fool, you tremble. Perhaps the parasite has weakened you. Or perhaps you still long for my taste. I did not say it was unwelcome. Should a warrior not enjoy the flattery of her admirers? Besides, I can't deny the lure of your taste. Sweet, yes, but also bitter as ginger. Tempt me. You are exceptional amongst our pack. You are clearly their leader, and they look to you for guidance. That I admire. Very well. I will claim you once you have taken to rest.
She's insatiable. Wasn't planning to have another one of these encounters with Lae'zel here.
Just when my tongue was craving a second sample. To think you'd starve yourself while gazing at a feast luscious as this.
She's insatiable.
Oakfather's blessings to you.
Okay, there's nothing new here. Let's go up and talk to Will and Gale.
Welcome to the League of the Lone Eye, my friend. Not to minimize the pain of Volo's poking and prodding, but I promise, you'll be used to the prosthesis in no time. Besides, I find it gives one an air of mystique. No one's more intriguing than a man with one eye.
Okay, so nothing new for Will.
I've been dreaming of our enigmatic visitor again. She told me our purpose was to take on this cult of the Absolute, to infiltrate its ranks and bring it down from the inside. She even offered me greater powers, the result of some manipulation of the tadpole's psionic abilities. Given the magnitude of what we're up against, I see no harm in considering the benefit this offer might afford us. Could be the only way to reach this source in one piece. As existential evils go, the Absolute certainly seems an adversary worth halting in its tracks. Any opportunities for us to indulge our tadpole's capabilities are hardly on the same scale. Trifles, when one considers the bigger picture.
Okay, and nothing new for Gale past that. Yes, Eric, I do have the streamer buttons pressed. However, not entirely sure how much those protections are. YouTube and Twitch are a little different from each other when it comes to those type of guidelines. So, not saying that there won't be more of them at some point, but for right now, I'm going to avoid it for tonight. So do I have a 3 around here anywhere? I can split off a potato. Okay, so we'll just check around real quick. Make sure nothing else new. So Scratch wants to talk. So I probably do need to get my potion of animal speaking up again. That lasts until long rest.
I'm ready.
We'll have
All's well that ends.
my paladin bind his weapon.
I'm ready.
We'll
Whatever it
have...
takes.
I'm actually going to change this over to Gale. Have Gale cast this.
It shall be done.
On me. Then I will have him change that out.
No time to rest.
And now I will talk to Scratch.
The dog is unable to speak through the small bag he holds in his mouth.
I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. All I know is I thought of you when I saw it.
Scratch is the goodest boy. I'm gonna be honest though. I can't wait until I get to Baldur's Gate. Okay, so I got a bone. There's nothing that I know of that these do as far as Scratch bringing them to me other than as a sign of affection. So if there is something that somebody knows about them that I don't, do please let me know. But nothing that I know of so far. Okay, so we'll go ahead and leave camp. And now we are going to head out across Ebonlake.
A vessel wobbles on the lake's murky waters.
You! What are you doing on Gek's raft? Where's Gek? Who are you?
Okay, so again, we have different ways to play this here. On this playthrough, I think I'm going to try and maximize my action economy here. And yeah. And play this out in a non-confrontational way. The benefit would be the experience if I go through and have a combat encounter here. The negative being that I'm probably going to have to utilize more of my action economy than I would necessarily want to here. And there's a reason for that and how that plays out in the Grimforge. So let's see what our options are here. So I've got a plus 10 from this persuasion here. Yeah, this combines all of my persuasion options together.
All right. No reason to get your tongue in a twist. Well, come on. Let's get you to shore. You'll need to report to the sergeant. You lot, keep patrolling. I'm heading back with this one.
You continue forward in silence until the lights of a camp twinkle through the murk.
Sideways. We've got a welcoming party.
You shithead! Time you showed up, we got trouble.
Spit it out! Sergeant finally choked on True Soul Near's prick.
Drugno! The twat soul caused a rockfall. Trapped tighter than a ring on a fat finger.
You're shitting me. You pay up?
That's the trouble. He's got the gold on him. Sergeant's arm is falling off with all the gnome slaves she's been beating. Who's the hoon, Grayman? Another slave for the dig?
Aye. One of those absolute crackpots. Found the hoon sailing Gek's skiff.
That's so.
You feel the slightest of stirrings in your head. The Dwergar is not infected, yet your minds resonate.
I'll be... You ain't shitting. Felt the tingle. Your twat-soul chum owes us a load of coin. You want through? Make a donation. Unclog your hole. Just shitting around. But I'm warning you, that twat soul ain't settled up soon. there'll be hell to pay for the lot of you cult buggers.
There's the matter of the gnomes, too. It wouldn't do to stand by and keep them enslaved.
Okay. So we've landed over here, and we haven't used any of our spells or anything like that up to this point. You certainly can have combat with everybody that you have just encountered. And if you choose to do it that way, you know, feel free. But I'm saving my action economy for something in particular, because now that I'm here, I don't want to take a long rest. There are a few things in the game that are time-based once you activate them. We've had discussions previously about Joaquin's Rest. If you go into Joaquin's Rest and then you take a long rest but don't actually do anything inside Joaquin's Rest, when you come back, nothing will be there. They will have rescued the Chancellor and all that sort of stuff without you. It's the same thing here, in that if you take a long rest while you're here, or if you leave and go take a long rest somewhere else and come back, things will have progressed without you while you're gone. And we've learned that True Solnir is trapped inside of a cave-in, and we want to be able to rescue him from that cave-in and have an interaction with him. And if you don't have that interaction, then you can miss out on some things, and that's not how we want this to progress. So there are some things that in here that are not time-based, but that is one of them. So if you take a long rest once you're in here, you're going to go into where True Solnir is trapped, and you're just going to find his dead corpse. And that's it. And we want to have a different encounter that expands upon that. So it's not like you have to, if you run around in here for a bunch of gameplay and do a bunch of other things, that it's going to time out. That's not how it works. It's based upon you taking a long rest. So take all the time you want walking around here and exploring, but just don't take a long rest. So we can click on the grubby map here, and it's basically just, you know, giving you the fact that this is one side of Ebonlake, and that there is an enclave they set up on the other side, which is what they did. They set that up over at the Decrepit village, which we already know about because we already cleared it out. There's a battered note here. Basically says that this is food for the Rothe, and you're going to see more of them. Actually, I think you can see them now. Yep. Here. So having speak with animals on while you're going through this is fairly useful. And then as we go through here, we're going to walk up here and make sure that we activate the waypoint. Okay, so we've already found the waypoint. Now I'm going to head off and explore this area first. And again, this section, it's not timed like that, so feel free to go wandering around. Okay, we have an executed drow here. It's marked as steel. Most of the chests around here are going to be marked as steel as well, so be careful what you're clicking on.
Very well. Drow slaughtered like chickens in a butcher's shop.
Don't like strangers here. But Absolute must have took you in. Me? Who else? My spiders sussed them out of hiding, then near taught them a thing or two, and I let them fly. caught him sniffing around. Easy marks. Had the stench of the Toplands. Hung them here as a warning. Ain't no one drugs with Clan Flameshade.
Okay. So he says his spiders, you know, sussed them out, went and found them. We're going to go over here and talk to the spiders. We have speak with animals here.
I speak true, brothers. You know it in your hearts. You know it in your very souls.
We need no Lolth, no Spider Queen. Father Murmuth is the head of Clan Lur. He hatched us, raised us, feeds us.
What care we for his business here? He keeps us small, keeps us contained. We should be with the Spider Queen, revered, adored.
Okay, so multiple different ways to play this out. So we do have a religion check. Religion is based on intelligence. That's a dump stat for us. But we can try it. And it doesn't matter, I'm trying to, yeah. We had Gale cast it, so it doesn't matter who casts guidance.
You've read that harming spiders is illegal among Lolth's faithful, and often punishable by death.
Father Murmuth is our past. Lolth is our future.
These spiders are loyal to the local Dwergar. In the event of a fight, they will join the fray against you, with slavering enthusiasm.
Okay, so that opened up this first option here. You're also going to have the deception persuasion options, which are also you know, really good for us to do. So even if you fail that first one, don't get this option, you have other ways to play it.
Xanta, is it so? I've heard the very same. Come, brothers, follow me into her hairy embrace.
Her embrace. We're ready. We follow.
Yes. Now, brothers, our new dawn awaits.
With Clan Flameshade.
Okay, so you gain a big chunk of experience points out of that, and now you no longer have to worry about the spiders should something happen. I don't think anything's going to happen down here, but you never know. So now we'll go up here and have this encounter, and this encounter can be a little strange. I haven't quite figured out how to guarantee certain outcomes for this.
It's Skickpit, you piss pot. That's what I said. Stick shit. Another stick shit. Piss pot. You flirt. Now jump to it. Or it's up to the lift and straight to the shadows.
I think we've found two Dwergar who are gonna get spit in their drinks.
True soul, yeah? Tell the sergeant we won't move a pebble. Hold out your hands, Oon.
You heard the man. Let's see him.
Scout all you want. You got 5 working fingers. Perfect for digging. You want there, you claw him out. My drinking hand's busy. And he'll appreciate how few shits I have to give you. Hey! Stick shit! Where's my drink? Coming right up, piss pot. Stick shit talks like smug, and he wrecked that shroom village.
And then shagged it.
Here's to smug, nasty prick.
Okay, so Lord Wagmar here is, from what I can gather, the key to this encounter. You can rescue Skickpit here, but I believe you have to kill Lord Magmar to do it. It's, like I say, this encounter's a little strange, and I'm not entirely sure how to guarantee certain outcomes from this. So this could be a little different. I'm going to try and talk to... Actually, let's try and talk to Skickpit now.
Piss off. My side? I heard the piss pot. You're a true soul, same as near. So like I said, piss off. Ha! Fuller was mad as a rutting badger, but she weren't a friend of any true soul. What about piss off, do you? Hold on. You aren't just talking shit, are you? Then shh. Keep it low. Don't let them hear you. Now, why in the hottest hells would a true soul be helping me? Free? From your mouth, I hope. Go on then. Split them open. I'm not going to stop you. But you better finish the job, because I'll be the one to suffer if you don't. Ain't you hearing me, prickhole? Piss off to every last hell.
Okay. So I think that is the case, that you actually have to deal with Lord Magmar here. Not entirely sure you can talk him out of this.
Shove off! I'm not sharing.
Alcohol. An odd vice for Dwergar, prone to triggering ancestral memories of brutal illicit enslavement.
And that yammering pisshole's bad news for your lifespan, but you keep flapping it.
Through the Dwergar's ears, you hear the sizzle of burning flesh and the screams of tortured young. Old pain felt anew.
Shit! Shit! Beat it! True hole, before I start beating you!
Okay. So we're going to leave for now. We're going to come back and deal with this, though. One thing I definitely want to do here is...
Watch your back.
There is work to do.
Let's move. Never wanted the easy path.
Unless you're here to kick some stiffs lakeside, I suggest you bugger off. You gotta be kidding. These trash don't have nothing on them but rocks.
Rocks.
Okay, so I can make a perception check here. It's wisdom based. So let's leave and check and see who has our best perception chance here. So Shadowheart or Astarian both.
Let anyone in around here.
What's next?
Well, hello.
My
Any of those absolutists see you mucking around, and you're toast.
Okay.
Aye. Aye.
So I messed it up.
You got that right.
I was afraid of that. I got too used to checking the
Let's be quick.
the skills, and I should have gone for the check right there.
Never a dull moment.
Okay.
Very well.
So that was a misplay there. Okay, so I wish that Skickpit wasn't walking around here.
Another step forward.
Let's see where the detection cones are so they don't extend very far.
Oh, my hand slipped.
Okay.
Getting peckish.
So we're gonna wait.
Should mind my step.
Okay, so his detection cone did overlap.
Should mind my step.
Where's he at? He's down here. Nope, I'm gonna have to wait.
What am I to do? Onward. Ever onward.
Step quick. Let's prowl.
Mustn't let anyone see.
Getting peckish.
Not this again.
Oh, you got that right.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
Let's go. Take off, please.
Tam, I'll take drinking to digging any day.
I watch yours. Damn right.
I was trying to concentrate.
I guess I probably could play this that way, Lord Henry. I guess I could keep that same tradition up.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
I normally play this one out differently to get the XP from it, but
ahead.
I mean, I guess we can.
Something smells tasty. Let's see.
Wait, where's my poisons at? Yeah. I need the poison. Where did my poisons go? I didn't sell them all, did I? No, I've got them right there. Why did they not show up in my... Or did they and I just missed them? That could be a very true thing.
Let's keep to the shadows.
You got that right.
Okay, yeah, they did show up. I was just missing them. They were right up here at the top.
Stay low.
Have a lot on my mind and, well, in it. On my way.
And we'll go wait over here. For this to play out. Yeah, they are resistant to it. They're not immune to it. They are resistant to it. So I'm anxious to see how this plays out. Because if they accuse him of being the one that poisoned him, he's going to get killed. It just kills him outright.
Snicktick's prick. They're dead. Poison. Had to be. Shit! You did it! What now?
Well, if he takes the lift to the surface, he's going to be in trouble.
I know a place. Across the lake. Should be safe. Won't be needing this poison now that you've offed the pricks. Bet you'll find it handy, though. You're a good one. I won't forget it.
Okay. So normally I just ambush them and do it that way, but that's certainly a much easier way to do it, assuming that there are no other repercussions to that. Okay, basically his diary. He's saying that drinking really isn't doing him any good.
Getting peckish.
Peckish? Seems simple enough.
You got that right.
I don't know as if there's any way to do this now, but we'll see. Okay, so we're going to deal with these two.
Keep a blade close. There.
And see if the actual perception check on the corpse still works.
You watch my back. I watch
or
yours.
not.
I watch yours.
Damn right.
Don't know if it will, to be honest.
Just like old times.
I can be subtle sometimes. Anything of use? All right, time to skulk
Getting
about.
peckish.
Peckish.
You got that right.
So let's see how best to deal with these two. Don't need Luck of the Far Realms for this.
Attack someone. Only the guards are allowed to do that, as this one is about to demonstrate.
Okay. Miss is good. That wasn't good. Alright. So, not too worried about hit points though. I want to get myself in here. Okay, I don't have a dexterity bonus to armor anyway, so that doesn't matter. So I am now surrounded by 2 or more enemies. So I should have advantage on these attack rolls. Yes, I do, from Underdog's Bravery. So let's bring some other people into this fight and see if we can't even this up here a bit. I don't need a crit here. I want to save my crits.
I'm ready.
And I would ideally like to kill this here.
Such an undignified position to find oneself in.
So let's change this out right now, because I'm not going to use the benefits from the Staff of Arcane Blessing yet. Okay, so 14 left.
There is work to do.
So I should have taken Shadowheart in there first.
Need to press onward.
Doesn't matter not being in combat, I guess, though. Okay, so this will not be a kill here. Okay.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
So with 7 hit points left, because Eldritch Blast will have disadvantage because its target's too close here. So I think I am going to just shriek here. Okay, don't need to react. So good, I did get rid of him. So now it's just Brathwyn left.
Let's turn someone inside out.
What should I do?
The last board is set.
He actually did that. That wasn't cool at all.
You picked the wrong fight, friend.
Ooh, with the crit, I don't even need to land Divine Smite on him. So we'll hold that turn.
Shall we cut and run?
A tale for the ages.
Time to kill.
Don't need a crit. You will get a sneak attack. Okay. He threw the stupid smoke powder bomb right at himself and all of us. So, didn't expect that to happen. But I kept my action economy. That was the goal there, was to kill them and keep my action economy. So, I've got all my spell slots and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so now let's see if we actually have a perception check that we can make here. So the perception is wisdom based. So it was Astarion or Shadowheart that was the best at it.
Keep going.
Let's just get everybody over here. We'll split it.
Someone there.
And we'll see if this choice or this check is gone forever.
Yes, please.
Deep gnomes, killed under the yoke of slavers.
Yeah, looks like the choice is gone. I needed to make the choice during that dialogue. Look, there's one more to search here. Oh no, it's not. That's just didn't take it. So yeah, looks like the choice here to collect that item is not here from them. So at that point, just something to remember as you're going through this. When you get the opportunity in that conversation to search the corpses for loot, and you need to make the perception check, go into that conversation with somebody who has a proficiency in perception or who has a high wisdom stat, so that you can make the check while you're there. So that dialogue option isn't going to be here anymore, Lord Henry. I don't believe. Yeah, I think it was a one-time dialogue option. So I was, in my personal playthrough, I had just passed the check there, but my personal playthrough is with a ranger, so I've got a really high perception stat. So I didn't think about the fact that I needed to make the check there in the conversation, instead of trying to escape out of it and losing that choice while I was here. So either way, I'll take a look at it and see if that was the only way to play it.
Let's get on
I mean,
with
I
it.
can quickly try with somebody else.
Might as well take a look.
I think it's a one-time check, though. Yeah. It's a one-time thing. Because I believe it's this corpse right here. Actually, that has it. But I'll check it while I'm offline and see if there's a different way to play it. And when we come back next week, we'll explore it. And if not, then, like I say, I'm not reloading or anything like that in my playthroughs. If I do a misplay, I do a misplay, and it gets saved over. It's not a big deal for me. So, but we'll explore that when we come back next week. So, again, I'd like to thank everyone for joining me today, especially those of you who are here for both live streams. I certainly appreciate all the support, because without your support, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Jorval saying, until next time, fare thee well.